One Punch Man is completely hilarious, okay? The whole series is about a guy who trained so hard, he went bald and became the strongest living creature in existence. And literally everyone underestimates this man and gets absolutely killed because of it. I mean, this guy fought monsters, genetic experiments, and literally the dominator of the entire universe. So please get comfy as I'm going to go over the entire story from other characters' perspectives throughout the show. Now, the first perspective I want you guys to take from me is Genos. So you are a Genos, you are a cyborg, you were created by Dr. Cassino, and you're just out doing your rounds on a merry stroll when you come into contact with Mosquito Girl. And she's just trying to kill everything, like she's just completely nuts. And you don't know what the hell she is or where she came from, but you cannot let this thing just roam free in society. So you guys start running the ones with each other. She takes your arm, you take two legs, you're winning so far. And literally mid-fight, mind you, everyone in the vicinity has evacuated and this bold man just starts sprinting towards you with a can of bug spray. And at first, you know, you're like, who the hell is this idiot? Like, the whole city is supposed to be evacuated, but yet this random bold man is just casually running towards us. And you try to explain to him, like, hey, like, you're 100% going to die if you don't leave here right now. Like, that thing up there, you see that? Mosquito Girl will kill you. And he's just like, wait, what? Really? That's bad news. Of course it's bad news. Use your eyes. And as you both look up, you just see this swarm of mosquitoes. And you, as Genos, take zero chances and just incinerate the shenanigans out of the swarm, completely destroying everything around you. But somehow, the bald man, now naked, is just alive and kicking without a single scratch on him. And you are just completely flabbergasted. But before you can ask him, like, how the hell did he survive that, the Mosquito Girl just suddenly starts beating the bolts off you. She's tossing you around like a toy, and you think this is it. You think you've lost, and you go to self-destruct, and in the corner of your eye, you spot this bold man Sparta jumping into the air and just pulls a Will Smith, completely erasing Mosquito Girl from existence. And you see this happen, and you're just completely shocked. You can't believe what's going on. To you, this bold man seems like God, and you immediately devote the rest of your existence to him. So you ask him to be his disciple, and somehow he accepts. And you end up spending some time with him. You're telling him about your very sad and tragic backstory, about how a rampaging cyborg destroyed your whole city and killed your family. You know, the usual in anime. It's kind of ironic that you became the thing you hate, but anyway, out of nowhere, you sense a high-speed object approaching, and you say, you know what, I'll deal with it. And before you can even get outside and even like comprehend what's going on, Saitama has just completely just put them in their place, okay? Like, he's just dealt with it all by himself. Now from here quickly, I want to take the perspective of this guy, Armored Gorilla. So you as Armored Gorilla are a member of the House of Evolution, and to the best of your knowledge, you are undefeatable. You have been genetically modified by Dr. Genos, and you are the absolute pinnacle of strength. And you have been sent to gather data on the people who killed Mosquito Girl, and you end up fighting Genos, leaving the Beast King and Ground Dragon to Saitama, who like are literally two of the strongest fighters in the House of Evolution. And you get your ass whooped by Genos. But you're not too concerned, as you know the Beast King and Ground Dragon are there, so you should be okay. Okay, we really need to improve the names in One Punch Man, like Ground Dragon, seriously. Anyway, you see Ground Dragon, he's trapped the Baldy in the ground, and you think he's done for, when he literally climbs out of the concrete like he just got out of the tub. And then he just goes on to one-shot the Beast King like he was nothing but a joke, and then starts swimming through the concrete to catch up and defeat Ground Dragon. And you see this happen, and you literally shit a brick. Like, you emptied the entirety of your bowels. Like, you have never been this scared before in your life, and you just start confessing. Like, you get down on one knee, you start telling him everything he needs to know, every single scrap of information about the House of Evolution, in hopes that they might spare you. You even tell them that your master, the one who created you, Dr. Genos, is interested in Saitama's body, and to your surprise they actually spare you, but they literally head straight for the House of Evolution to destroy it. Now from here, I want to switch to the perspective of Dr. Genos. So you are Dr. Genos, and you are just a complete and utter asshole. Your social anxiety got so bad to the point you started hating your own race, and came up with the just bonkers idea to advance the human race genetically. And so that's what you've been doing. Up until this bold naked man came out here and just destroyed Mosquito Girl, and then went on to absolutely decimate the rest of your experiments. And you're just in complete and utter disbelief, like how could any mere human do this? And then you learn that Baldy and Genos are literally on the way to the House of Evolution to beat the brakes off you. And they do, they arrive, and literally without a second of hesitation just completely vaporizes the House of Evolution. And at this point you know you're in trouble, so the only thing you can do now is release your #1 subject, Carnage Kabuto, who to your knowledge is just completely fucking nuts. And I mean fucking nuts, okay? Like this guy just kills everything as soon as he can. Like Carnage Kabuto is just insane. And you let him go to deal with the intruders. And to the best of your knowledge, like you are so convinced Carnage Kabuto is the strongest organism in existence. Like nothing should be even able to lay a finger on him. Until he starts fighting Saitama, and you watch as he literally retreats in fear, and you are just flabbergasted, and you just want to know who the hell is this guy, and how the hell did he become so strong? And to your surprise, he actually agrees, and he tells you how he became strong. So you all gather around, and he tells you, along with Genos and even Beetlejuice over here, and you would think that he went through body modification surgery, was born super strong, or something that logically explains his power. But this dude just comes out of nowhere and has the audacity to tell you that the reason behind his strength was a bog standard fitness regimen of 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups and 100 squats and then a 10-kilometer run. And he ain't kidding either. And at this point you're just pissed off, because that's literally less training than your average fighter does to prepare for a match. But then he proves his power by literally just one-shotting Carnage Kabuto and punching straight through a wall to get outside. And you are just done with your insane plan to upgrade the human race, because clearly it doesn't need upgrading. Now from here I want you guys to take the perspective of Speed of Sound Sonic. So you are Sonic and you are just utterly insane. You believe your own hype so much, you think you are the fastest and the strongest man alive. And you were just chilling out doing some Hitman freelance work, and you're asked to take care of the Paradisers, who are literally just a bunch of bald men who stole some average battle suits who are causing havoc. And you do take care of them. You chop off all of their heads effortlessly, like it's a complete and utter massacre. And then you happen to come across someone else, a very strange bald man with a cape, and you just presume that he's just another one of the Paradisers, so you go to fight him as well. But you'll come to realize that this random bald man is no ordinary man whatsoever, as he effortlessly catches all your attacks. And you feel a bit insulted, you know, like you're supposed to be the strongest and the fastest, so now you really want to kill him. So you show him your top speed in what you think is an unbeatable display of speed. You're bouncing off all the trees, moving at the speed of sound, and he's literally just standing there, so you don't think he's able to keep up. And literally right as you go to land a blow, he stares at you directly in your eyes, dodges your kick, and plants his fist directly into your crotch, leaving you just completely immobilized and embarrassed. And from this moment on, you swear that one day you will defeat Saitama and you'll be back. Like that has to be one of the most embarrassing ways to go out in a fight. Now from here I want to switch to Saitama's perspective. For literally years you have been defeating monsters, bad guys and whatever else you've come across. But you've just found out that literally no one knows who you are, despite the hundreds of villains you've put down in your time. Other heroes have fan clubs, merchandise, like where the hell is your publicity? You've brought down like world-ending threats and no one has a clue who you are. Until Genos tells you that you actually have to register to become a hero with the Hero Association. Like imagine that, all those years of hobby heroing, I guess, wasted because you didn't even know you had to sign up. So you and Genos both sign up to take the hero test, and there are two tests, a physical and a written test, and you absolutely ace the physical test. Of course you do, you're Saitama, you break every single record on every single activity. But despite your big bald head, you're not on the smart side, so you fail the written test. But Genos, the perfect cyborg himself, aces both tests, and when you get your results back you find out that Genos is an S-class hero and you are a C-class hero. Which for me is completely ridiculous, like any idiot could look at your physical exam results and immediately give you at least an A-ranked position. But anyway, comme ci comme ça, and after all the hero stuff, Genos asks you to spar with him, like he is your disciple after all, so you agree. And during the spar, Genos is just going all out, like Genos is pulling out all the stops to try and fight you. But your epithet is literally One Punch Man. So like of course you can't properly fight him, you'd literally beat the bolts off him. But you do fight him, you give him a small demonstration of your power, you do an average punch and you just stop short of his face. But you also manage to leave behind an entire valley And it's at this moment where Genos clocks it and he realizes that you are completely on a different level and you are just the strongest living organism he's ever seen. And a few days have passed since the sparring match and you're chilling out on the couch. You haven't done any hero work at all. I don't know how you managed to keep your strength living like this, but anyway. Genos reminds you that as a class C hero, you have to do weekly hero work or else you're going to lose your hero rank. And you're just like, you really couldn't have said this to me earlier. Like, come on. It's like the second last day. So you rush out to find a bad guy and you race around the place, but with no luck. Until Speed of Sound Sonic shows up again. And you're just like, oh, come on, man, not now. I'm just trying to do my hero work. And he's just like, I'm going to settle our rivalry once and for all, Saitama. And you realize that he is actually a bad guy. So you jump up to him and you just Bruce Lee the shit out of him. Like in probably one of the most embarrassing ways to go out again. Like honestly, if I was Sonic, I'd hate Saitama as well. Now I want to switch back to Genos' perspective here. So you are Genos and you have been alerted that a meteor is set to hit the city out of nowhere in like 30 minutes. And you're just like, yeah, great timing guys, as always, appreciate it. Anyway, you as a class S hero, you step up and you try and deal with the meteor. And you end up meeting Bang, another S class hero. And you both try and destroy the meteor, but with no luck. Like you really shot everything you had at the meteor and it didn't even budge. And just when you think it's about to be over, Saitama emerges out of nowhere looking like a complete badass and just decimates the meteor with a single punch, but also sends all the debris crashing into the city, which isn't ideal, but like, it's better than nothing. And the next day you find out that Saitama has risen from 300th to rank 5 in Class C, but you also know that everyone thinks Saitama stole credit for the meteor, and he's the reason why the city was practically destroyed. And of course you try to defend him and explain to the public like, hey, without Saitama, literally you all would be dead, so to put some respect on my man's name. But by the time you get there, you see Saitama screaming at the public, telling him that it's his fault and he couldn't give two craps what they think of him and he's only a hero for fun. Like imagine being a normal person in this situation and the equivalent of Superman just starts screaming at everyone, saying he doesn't give a hot damn what everyone thinks of him and he'll do whatever the heck he wants. I think we've all seen something like this happen before. Anyways, from here I want to switch to the perspective of the Deep Sea King. So you are the Deep Sea King and you and your sea folk have been living under the sea and you want to kill all the people on land and take it for yourselves. So you launch an attack on the land. You know that you are genetically superior than all the humans. You're supposed to be faster, stronger, smarter, whatever. But you do notice that there are a few people who can fight you and you come into contact with what you think is just a normal person and you're like, who are you? And he's like, I'm Puri Puri Prisoner. You're what and who now? And then this guy just starts ripping off all his clothes and starts to fight you and you're just like, you are insane. And honestly, for the good of existence, I need to get rid of you right now. And before you kill him, you ask him where the hell did he come from, and he tells you straight up to your face, I just broke out of prison. And now you definitely need to get rid of this guy. I just cannot let you roam free anywhere. You look like a complete nut job and you are a risk to all of existence. You need to go, my friend. And you do. You whoop his ass. And then you come into contact with another man, but a bit scrawnier. You whoop his ass too. Speed of Sound Sonic was no match for you or Saitama. I mean, Speed of Sound Sonic is just really taking L's at this point. Anyway, you end up finding your way into an emergency shelter that's filled to the brim with people. And you're just like, oh, I'm gonna kill every single one of you. But there are actually some heroes there that try to fight you. And of course, you as a Deep Sea King beat the brakes off them. And you then come into contact with a cyborg and you beat the bolts off him too. And it's at this point where you're really getting sick of defeating people and you're debating if taking over the land is even worth it in the first place. Like, how many people are you gonna have to fight at this point? And then some ordinary man on a bike comes crashing in to save the day. And at this point you just feel insulted. Like, this man has no superpowers or anything. He's just a normal person and he thinks he can defeat you. Like, did you just not see what I did to everyone else before you? There's literally a beaten and broken Class S hero standing 2 feet away from you. What makes you think you can defeat me? And he's like, for justice, yeah! And you knock him into next week. I mean, you beat him to a pulp and within an inch of his life. And now you're like, okay, finally, are we done here? Like, how many damn people do I need to fight? Until another guy appears. And you're like, oh, come on, not again. And then you take a closer look and you see his scrawny, bald head. And you're like, you have got to be kidding me. It never ends. So you go to punch him. And the punch fully connects. But he literally just stands there unfazed. and then has the audacity to tell you that your punch was weak. So now you're really pissed off. So you go to attack him again, and this time you try to attack him with everything you've got. But before you can even land the punch, he just full on one-shots you. Like Saitama stands 10 toes down on business. He insulted you and then proceeded to one-shot you. Like, damn man, you just could not catch a break. Now from here I want to switch to Sitch's perspective. So you are Sitch, and you are on the executive board for the Hero Association. And Madame Shibabua, who has literally predicted every grave disaster that has ever happened, has just up and died on you, and right before she died, she predicted Doomsday itself is going to come in the next 6 months. So of course, desperately, you gather all the S-Class heroes to brief them about the situation. You're telling them all about Madame Shibabua and how we all could die sometime in the next 6 months. Wait, who are you? Anyway, it doesn't matter, just listen to me. We need to be careful. We could all be faced with unparalleled destruction in the next 6 months, so be on your guard. And literally, as soon as you finished that sentence, the threat that you tried to warn everyone about just came right down knocking on your door, like the timing. Now from here, I want to take this perspective of Boros. You are literally the dominator of the entire universe, like you are practically a god. No one can stand up to you. You're literally a more badass version of Frieza. You beat up so many people, you got tired of beating people up. And you came to Earth because you were told that one day your match would appear and rekindle your fighting spirit. So you come to Earth and decimate City A in order to get the attention of the one you were told about. And suddenly you're told that a single man has infiltrated your ship all by himself and has taken out all your guards and is currently bolting towards the control room. And that's the last thing that you hear before he bursts through the door and meets you face to face. And at this point you're certain he was the one you were told would be your match. You can't even sense the limit on his energy, and you exchange names. You tell him that you're the dominator of the entire universe and that you were told a prophecy that someday a man like you would come and rekindle your fighting spirit. And he interrupts you and just punches you straight into a wall, destroying your battlesuit that kept in your full power. So now you're pissed and you start running the ones with each other in probably one of the coolest battles I've ever seen in fiction. And you end up kicking him straight up into outer space and onto the moon. Any normal person would just think that they've won the battle after they launch someone literally into space and onto a different planet. But oh no, this is One Punch Man, and more importantly, this is Saitama. So he returns literally in less than 10 seconds as if nothing happened. And you're just completely flabbergasted, like how on earth did you get that strong? And then you start fighting him again, and he literally punches you into smithereens, and you, I don't know, regroup or come back together or something, and you unleash your final move, and Saitama releases a finishing move of his own, a serious punch. Like, this punch is so strong, it vaporizes all the clouds around the entire planet and leaves you looking like a shriveled up finger after a swim. In the span of less than 30 minutes, the literal dominator of the universe lost everything to a random bald man with a cape. Like, Saitama is just so strong. And yeah, that's where I'm gonna leave this video on One Punch Man. Let me know if you would like to see a video on One Punch Man Season 2. Also, let me know in the comments if I missed anything. So thank you for watching, thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this, and I'll see you in the next one.